Hi, welcome back to another video. We're back with the Yamaha YZF R125. You saw in the last video we managed to get the engine running at last. It's been giving me some troubles, nothing to do with the engine, just my learning of how an engine works and what it is needs to be done. But we've got the engine back in, that's all working. So what I'm going to do now is move on to stripping down some more of the bike to do some cosmetic changes, because it should run quite well now. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the forks off because I want to rebuild the forks, refill the oil, redo the seals on it, but also spray paint the actual forks as well because they're a bit degraded. And we're also going to take the swing arm off the back as well. So this has actually got quite a lot of scratches on there, it's quite run down over the time. So we'll take this off, we'll sand it down, and then we'll give it a respray, get everything back on the bike, and we'll get it all rebuilt again. So that's the job we've got today. So let's crack on. First thing we need to do is to remove the brake caliper. Once that's off, we can loosen the axle and start removing the front wheel. Now we need to be careful here because some of these bolts are in really tight. You can see me using a mallet to loosen it, but if you hit it too hard you can actually shear the head off the bolt. So you've got to be really careful to get it out but not do any more damage. Okay, so what we can do, we can probably take these wheels and get them refurbished. So I'll get them cleaned up, see what state they're in, and then we'll get them refurbished and put back on. They're not too bad. Now we've got the front wheel off, we can turn our attention to the back wheel. First thing we're going to do is take off the rear brake caliper. Now we can turn our attention to the rear spindle. And the back wheel pulls off very easily. So if we look at the rear sprocket, looks alright, but we've got a new one anyway. Now we can take the exhaust off. There's one bolt holding it in place at the moment. So I like to put my bolts back in place so I know where they go. Now we can try and get the rear mudguard off. There's 3 bolts holding it in place. Unfortunately in this case the bolt at the top is actually rounded off, so it's very hard for me to get out. Now we can take off the rear brake set. And a couple of extra pieces that we want to respray. Now we can go to work on the rear spring. We need to loosen this so we can get the spring arm off. Now that we've got the rear shock absorber off, we can start work on the final bolts and get the swing arm knocked out of place. There we have it, the bike is stripped down a little bit. We've got the front wheel off. I can get the forks off later because we're just going to replace the oil in them and then give them a spray paint because they're not very nice. We've also got the swing arm off the back. We've given it a really good clean around here, around where the side step was. All in here, so the bolts for the rear shock absorber and the swing arm, that's absolutely disgustingly dirty, and we've got the swing arm off. So that means we can now sand this down and then give it a good paint and make it look as good as new. What we want to try and do today on the 125 is we're going to take the forks off, we're going to strip these down, give them a clean, put some new oil in, redo the seals. I might have a look at the handlebars, see if we can just sand these down. These might need a bit of a respray just to tie them up a little bit. So we're going to look around the front end of the bike today mainly, and that's the focus of what we're going to do. Okay, so that's pretty good. So we've got both forks off now. We've got all the bits out. So we've got the retaining clip out that needs to be replaced, the buffer, the top clip, and the spring. So the springs all look good as well, so we can keep reusing them. Not a lot of oil came out, so that's what I was expecting. I thought it might be quite dry. So what we're going to do, we're going to take them apart, replace the seals, put some fresh fork oil in, and then we can get them back on the bike. In fact, so while I'm at it, I think I'm actually going to respray the fork boots as well, because they're a bit messed up. So I'll give them a clean and a respray, and I think that'll make them look really nice. So that's the next job we're going to do. So I've just taken the fork seals off, and if you can see that, it's absolutely disgustingly dirty in there. So this is why these definitely need a refurb. So we'll clean that out. Hopefully the bushes don't need replacing, and just the seals will do. But I'll take it apart, give it a clean, and we'll see. Wow, so we can see from this just how dirty this bike is. This has not been well maintained. We're going to give it a good clean up, get everything back on, and it's going to be sweet as anything. First thing we need to do is give it a really good clean, give it a good degrease, and start sanding off the rough edges. Now we can start applying some paint stripper. The stuff I've got here is not very good at all. I left it overnight and it really didn't do a very good job. So I think next time I'll get some industrial strength paint stripper, some thick rubber gloves, and do it properly. But it is what it is. Okay, as you can see, that's been quite a lot of effort. So stripping it all down, getting it all cleaned. I've sanded it with 220 grit, 320 grit. I've degreased it again, and it's all ready for painting. But that's the end of the video, so we're going to leave it there. Next up, we're going to paint it. We're going to get the bike back together. So check out soon. Hopefully in a week or two, I'll get the next video up where we get the bike back together, and it's going to look great. If you like the content, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out. I really want to get my subscribers up. Please do click those buttons, help a brother out. Cheers, peace, and goodbye.